The Honourable Member for Launceston.
Thank you, Mr President. Mr President, today I speak about the Headstone Project, whose mission it is to ensure that all our First World War veterans have their last resting place suitably marked in such a way that recognises their service. This goal may sound simple enough, but starting in Tasmania in 2011, the founding members of the Tasmanian Headstone Project discovered that there were World War I veterans who had been buried at Cornelian Bay Cemetery in Hobart without so much as a headstone, nor even a marker. With the help of Millington Cemeteries, the team, who'd started out with a list of approximately 20 names, began their research into how many more World War I veterans might be buried there and what their stories were. In large part, and to date, the team have determined that many of them had served at Gallipoli, on the Western Front and in the Middle East. At this point in time, over 200 veterans have been identified, and with more research to be undertaken at various burial sites in Tasmania, the number may well be up to 250 by the time the project is complete. There are now various Headstone Project teams working every state in Australia to this same common goal, and with each veteran being identified, the stories which constitute the very fabric of Australia's character and involvement in World War I becomes more complete. The Headstone Project's research strategy is an open source one, which allows people with some guidance to put their research and problem-solving skills to use and undertake investigations into veterans that have been discovered in order to bring their story to life. As a consequence, the research efforts of those who generously give their time and expertise to the Headstone Project are nothing short of remarkable. Their website contains a search function which, when you search for a Headstone Project veteran, returns vital information, including the person's service number, unit, dates of enlistment, return, discharge and death, as well as personal information on their family, their work before and after the war, and sources for additional information. On the 26th of July this year, I had the privilege of attending a service of dedication of 30 headstones in Launceston. Whilst the dedication honoured those who served in various capacities during the First World War, the story of the 12th Battalion and those who were a part of it was included in the service's information booklet. I believe that this story bears repeating here. A paragon of martial excellence, the 12th Battalion's involvement in the First World War emphasises the resilience and fortitude that we as Australians have come to think of as synonymous with our attitude towards military service. I would like to quote: "During the period between 1914 and 1919, the 12th Battalion saw service in 4 continents, in the course of which it laid its honoured dead to rest in the shadow of the pyramids of Egypt, beneath the towering cliffs of Gallipoli, on the sunny shores of the Mediterranean, in rural England, in devastated Flanders, and beneath the scarlet poppies of Picardy, the flower that suggests sleep and remembrance. Those who have paid the ultimate price are not forgotten, nor those who service alongside them. The traditions that these men set during the First World War continue to be upheld. Those who currently service with the Royal Tasmanian Regiment are proud to be part of the 12th Battalion's long history of military service, both in times of war and of peace. These men and women continue to uphold the traditions of the 12th Battalion, serving in many theatres around the world today." End quote. Mr President, whilst the services to dedicate headstones to our First World War veterans is ostensibly a solemn event, I believe that it's worth pondering the fact that even in the darkest and most horrifying circumstances these brave servicemen endured, what remains in our hearts and in our minds is the extraordinary bravery, selflessness and courage that they served. It's in this spirit that we should continue to honour them today, so that their sacrifices were not in vain.
The Honourable